Jess, how was your pee break?
My pee break?
They might flash you.
Random, baby.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for having me. Quite an intro.
Let's address the elephant in the room. That's not the elephant in the room. There's no elephant. Nobody cares.
I, too, am a thought criminal. Good. Well, I like you already.
Does this look like a girl who's joking around?
No.
But how much do you actually understand money? Especially the new wave. Beauty or intelligence? When you unleash both, it is men's kryptonite. Welcome to Talk to Me, Taylor. Hey, everybody. Happy hump day. Tonight, I have a loose theme. We have so many topics to get through this show. This shit is going to be like Fast and Furious, like Vin Diesel. Never saw coming, baby. But, you know, I'm a little OCD, so I have to have kind of an overall theme. And the theme tonight is going to be entitlement and ego. Okay. And let me just say out of the gate, I am by no means about to Tony Robbins your ass and be like, here's how to check ego, everybody, because as I've evidently made this show my own diary, like Dear God, It's Me, Judy, or whatever remember that book? Dear you all, it's me, Taylor, just airing this out. Ego and a little bit of entitlement, I'll be honest. As much as I roast people who are publicly so entitled, and Gen Z, by the way, on the whole, and millennials too, my kind. These are both departments that I very much am working on, especially ego. Like I definitely, all 5'2" of me rivals Trump in the ego department. You know, like if you all know, you know, like I will throw down, okay, when my ego is threatened. Death before dishonor is all I have to say. So all that to say, these are things I am working on and working to check in my real life. Like I said, ego especially. So I am by no means here being your teacher and being the one to preach, but I got to call it as I see it. And oddly enough, I feel like all of these loosely are tied to set themes because nobody can check themselves and have any fucking chill whatsoever, anytime, any place, any time of day. So you all know, let's go entitlement first. All right, let's go entitlement because there is just something about when people, especially in Hollywood, are so not self-aware and they think that they're so humble and they are so entitled, it just literally makes you want to swan dive into traffic. And I saw it firsthand being a red carpet reporter in Hollywood. I'd be like, are these people joking? Like they are literally so coddled, so breastfed by their publicists, their managers, that they literally lose any ability to actually be human. Like God forbid you're having an interview or an interaction, a sit down, whatever it is. I don't care. The red carpet, the junket, you ask something that is somewhat like not robotic, God forbid, which is crazy because they're all losing their minds over this new AI actress, which we're going to get to. And they act like you just push them on the kindergarten playground and they don't even know what to do. And they call their mommy because of their boo-boo and they want to go home. It's like, lady, all I asked was, you know, your thoughts on being a woman today. Sorry, I didn't ask about your makeup routine this morning. Like, did I break your brain? And it's like, oh my God, publicist, they asked me this. It's not okay. It's like literally, again, any ability to be just like normal human out the door. But especially what bothered me about the entitlement, not just that they needed somebody to like literally prime and press their pussies in their dresses, lift them into their, you know, SUVs, you know, like little tooth fairies all around. But, and I've told you guys this before, but how they would literally be so entitled that they would show up late and not do interviews despite the press like dogs waiting out there like assholes for hours. You know, sometimes in the hot California sun, sometimes it doesn't matter, you know, weather inclement, doesn't matter. They would show up late, not even do interviews. And I'd be like, we are here for you think I'm doing this for my health? We're here to help you promote your movie that you're making millions off. I'm making maybe $200 for this. But even worse than that would be when it would be at their own charity events. Okay, they'd be like, help the starving children in Africa. Oh, can I get a question about? No, sorry. No, I got to go sit in the gala and watch millionaires, do an auction about stuff that allegedly is going to the starving kids in Africa. Like, it's all just so bogus. And have become so jaded about it. I've seen it firsthand. So when I see it play out in these situations on the world stage, I'm just like, what do we have here? Like, I have my popcorn and a bitch is ready to go. And the first at bat is none other than Emma Watson, because J.K. Rowling roasted the bitch in a way that is truly so iconic. It needs to be placed in a Smithsonian. Like, her tweets need to be up there as, even though she's in the UK, like, as a document of the times, because it is such a lesson about just this, about entitlement and grit and earning your stripes versus not, and piping down, basically. So I spoke too soon, because do you guys remember a couple of episodes ago when I talked about Emma Watson coming out on a podcast about J.K. Rowling and saying, despite our differences, because they have very opposing views about the trans issues. And Emma Watson has kind of positioned herself as this female activist, blah, blah. And who is the OG but J.K. Rowling, right? J.K. Rowling has been made into the trans wicked witch of the West, because she is very vocal because of her past, which I'm going to read here and I described in that last episode. As a woman, as a domestic abuse survivor, being poor and creating the world and being, by the way, a single mom, poor survivor, creating the world that made all these little fuckers millionaires, right? So she has fought the struggle as a woman, and whatever, not this like bullshit, like, grab him by the pussy, me, like the actual real, when you're scared and alone and fighting for your life. And she's been so demonized. She's been censored, canceled, like just synonymous with literally the Satan himself, because of being so vocal about keeping, respectively, trans in a category and women in a category, and not intersecting the two, because it just creates a whole mess. It is misogynistic and stomps on women, on rights, on the spaces that they fought for, right? That she herself has lived through. And so after Emma Watson went on the show, because at the time I was like, okay, good for Emma Watson, because she, like I said, she was like, I would hope that we can have differing opinions and still love one another. And I was like, all right, fair enough. Like, in a world when everyone is unhinged and psychotic and can't even look at a friend or family member, for God forbid, having an opposing opinion, like, good for her. Well, I spoke too soon, because basically J.K. Rowling came out and said, this girl has no idea. Like, she has audacity, but she has no idea. And in the height of when J.K. Rowling was getting completely dragged, Emma Watson apparently sent her a note or something, like being like, I'm sorry for what you're going through. And J.K. Rowling's like, she had my number, P.S. But here is some of what J.K. Rowling tweeted, which I have felt this from day one, which is why I always thought it was so obnoxious for people like all these little brats, like Daniel Radcliffe, who was Harry Potter, Emma Watson. Like, you all would be nobodies. You all would be competing with AI actresses and scrambling and losing their shit like everybody else. You would literally be a nobody. Pipe down, okay? And instead, they'd be like, oh, it's so gross. Like, we don't understand. Trans lives forever. Like, you literally don't know what you're talking about. Okay. Do a spell, Wingardium Leviosa your brain, and get a clue. So she says, okay. Like other people who've never experienced adult life uncushioned by wealth and fame, Emma has so little experience of life. She's ignorant of how ignorant she is. Wait, no, where's the Nobel? She'll never need a homeless shelter. She's never going to be placed in a mixed sex public hospital ward. I'd be astounded if she's been in a high street changing room since childhood. I wasn't a multimillionaire at 14. Do you like my dramatic rating of this, by the way? Like my interpretive dance in this J.K. Rowling tweet. I lived in poverty while writing the book that made Emma famous. I therefore understand from my own life experience what the trashing of women's rights, in which Emma has so enthusiastically participated, means to women and girls without her privileges. Okay. A moment of silence for J.K. Rowling. Like, thank you. Thank you, thank you, mother. She is here. She has arrived. Yes. I mean, this is where it's like the true lack of self-awareness is so gross. Bitch, you were a multimillionaire, successful, powerful, wealthy. When you literally, before you were a teenager, what are we talking about? She's exactly right. Like, until you have no clue. You literally have no clue. Take several seats. Like, I've actually been there. And this is where I feel like with Emma Watson, it's all ego. With J.K. Rowling, I don't feel like there's ego in this. This is just straight up, like, seriously. And I absolutely love her for this. And if Emma Watson even comes back after this, like, girl, no. I mean, that comes back to say anything, right? Because she just totally got her ass schooled. And I am totally here for it. And I hope that it's a lesson for these millennial Gen Z brats in general. It's like, you have no idea. You think you've suffered, struggled. She's exactly right. You'll never know what it's like to be poor, to be scared, on the street alone, raising a child. You'll never even have a glimpse because you were one of the most wealthy, famous, powerful people when you were pubescent. So what are we talking? Oh, and by the way, you're welcome. Like, because I created that for you, basically writing this world with an infant and poor, and, you know, maybe with pee stains down my pants. I don't even know, but basically, I loved it. Okay, so next is, this is all ego, and this shit is just straight up ratchet. Okay, did you guys see the Nicki Minaj and Cardi B throwdown? So this is just like where, okay, this is where just the stereotype proves to be true. Like, why are female rappers like this? Like, I know that women, and by the way, this whole like, yay, rah, rah, women shit, I've said this from the beginning. Women are so ruthless and competitive with each other, especially when it comes to men. Like, you're at a bar and they're like giving you the stink eye, and you're like, I didn't want your man. I'm good, but thank you. And that's always overlooked. And it's like, let's not pretend like these bitches are some of the most competitive, instead of like women lifting each other. I'm all for lifting each other, but like actually do that then, right? And acknowledge this. Well, this is another level. And this is actually like, this is so ego driven, because this is almost like maniacal. Like, this is so sick at this point that you have to go, your ego has to be so struck and so hurt to go this low. Basically, Cardi B and Nicki Minaj have had this ongoing beef, and I guess it was Nicki Minaj's son's birthday. And at first, they start trashing each other. The usual par for the course. You know how it is. No, you're not even famous. No one likes you. Don't care. Your album bomb. Blah 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 blah. Whatever. Okay. But then they start going after each other's kids in a way that is so sick and so ruthless. I'm like, are either of you okay? To where Nicki Minaj is calling Cardi B's kids like ugly and say they look, one of them looks like a roach and an ape, I think, or a monkey. And also, like, is that racist when a black person, I don't know. I'm just, says that about it. I'm asking for a friend. I don't know. I don't even know. Like, what even vortex are we in? And then, though, you have Cardi B being like, you're rotten pussy, produce this, this, this. Again, when I say the stereotype, like, writes itself and just lives up to, I mean, this is what it is. Okay. But she says, she starts taking shots. I didn't know this, but I get, and I don't know if it's true, but that's Nicki Minaj has a special needs son. And she was like, you know, your rotten pussy produces that. Your 5-year-old is banging spoons and tiptoeing around the house and doesn't even know his own name. Like, that is, like, guys, think about this, okay? And of course, like, everybody loves, you know, it's entertaining and it's fodder and, you know, who knows? But when it's this low, like, you have to have something so, like, rotten and dark inside you to go after a child, a special needs child like that. Like, this is beyond now just rap beef. It's like you're each other's kids. And people are saying Nicki started it, Cardi B finished it, but this is now again beyond just album sales and petty career competitive stuff. Like, something has to be so broken in you and your ego. I mean, my ego is not that bad. Shit. I will make the other person maybe wish that they were dead, but not their child. Okay. No, but like, that is so dark and so bad. to go that low. And it's like, it's also in front of, I mean, trust me, when I get on a roll, something takes over me and I will just like run the person over 5 times over, and I will like take out every bit of therapy that they ever had and weaponize it and use it against them in a way that I blink and I blacked out. I don't even know it just happened, right? Like I will put it in reverse and run it back and do it all over again. But this is like, even for me, I would never, this is in front of millions and millions of people. So even if it's like you think it, imagine how strong your ego is that you are willing to type these words out, put them in front of millions of people to where they're basically eternalized forever, like engraved in the internet. So that is just some sick stuff happening there. This is just like another level of gross. And then you have Tommy Lauren. I mean, but can you blame her? Like she wrote on one of the posts I saw about it being like Black women supporting other Black women. It's sort of like, yikes to be. And you know who else is all about ego? And I know I've been just completely like calling her out too, but even like Candace Owens, the more and more I listen to her, guys, it's just so gross. I mean, it really is. It just, the whole thing, and I've listened extensively enough now to know. And by the way, when I was with the episode I gave Monday night when I told the story about the bachelor party and all those guys, that's one of the things they asked me about. They're like, what do you think of Candace Owens? And everything I said, they were like, totally agree. Like it is so obvious just how disgusting, how quickly on the heels of her friend's gruesome public death that she has made this into like a clickbait true crime series. Literally, if you even look at the titles, and again, it's like she has these little, it's like a series. It's literally, I said to them, I was like, I think she's just a master media marketing manipulator. It literally, you would think it's like NCIS. She has or like SVU. Like she has these little oh, wait till you see in this, or she leaves it for the whole weekend. Oh, guys, we learned from the FBI this, but gonna have to wait till Monday. Even the captions, Charlie Kirk had concerns about TPUSA finances. It's just all so gross. And the more I watch it, this isn't really about vindicating your friend's death or she has it under the guise too of like, we're fighting for the truth and don't get me wrong, we should go after the FBI. We should bring light to all these things. Epstein files, what happened with Charlie Kirk, I agree, it's all shady and we want transparency and to speak truth to power. But it's all under the guise of that when really it's the Candace Owens ego mission of the century. Like everything is about her and her whole, vendetta and axe to grind with Israel, this, that. I mean, it's all just so absurd and it's so obvious. And the more that I take into from all of it, and how many people, millions of people, by the way, are getting duped by this shit. Like you suckers all got played. But the more I see like the Turning Point family, Erica Kirk, Alex Clark, Andrew was that Charlie Kirk's right-hand man. Like they've all, even Megyn Kelly and Tucker, who's very controversial, right? Who have been a part of Charlie's show since all this, talking about all of it at the memorial. I'm like, where's Candace Owens? Oh yeah, nowhere to be found. Or as she likes to say, oh, like all the Zionists were at the memorial, so I'm not going to put an X on my back and go there. How do you explain Tucker then? Who like put basically Israel on blast in his speech. Like, do you have a reason for that too? And they just keep like basically debunking, like nothing they're saying lines up with what she's saying. And so I just find it all gross. And then she has the audacity on top of it to be like, put the Turning Point people on blast. Like, oh, they're just doing PR. Like, how far are you going to go, bitch? Like, oh, well, Andrew, he still has to do the PR for Turning Point. It's like they're all completely devastated and it's heart-wrenching. They're crying on these shows talking about their boss, their friend, their this. And because it doesn't fit her narrative, Candace Owens is like, oh, well, they're just covering it up and it's all just PR, whatever. And I'm just like, the math is not mathing. Like something is not adding up. And that is all Candace Owens' ego. Like all Candace Owens' ego, just like, taking full responsibility. Like I broke France. I broke the FBI. It's like, chill. It's the Candace Owens. It's all about her world we're just living in it. So just be privy to that because I get it. It's clickbaity and it's intriguing and entertaining and I listen to it, but I also have that in my head, take it with a grain of salt because it really is just gross. Okay. The next one is again, just celebrities not being self-aware. Ariana Grande reposting, like, again, bitch, timing, reposting this call to Trump voters and Trump fans. And she posted it to her story. I think an influencer first posted it. And it says, I want a left-wing influencer. She said, I want to check in with Trump voters. I have one very genuine question. It's been 250 days. Now that immigrants have been violently torn from their families, and sidebar, some of that footage is horrific. Like, there's no need for how aggressive it's been. And it is really heartbreaking and sad. Okay, but now that the trans people have been blamed for virtually everything, you get where this is going, right? How has your life gotten better? Have your groceries gotten cheaper? Has your health insurance premium gone down? Has your work-life balance improved? Ariana Grande. Okay. Let's take a look at your net worth. Why are you talking to me about groceries and work-life balance? No. Like, get a clue. Can you take a vacation yet? Are you happier? Has the widespread suffering of others paid off for you in the way he promised it would, or are you still waiting? Again, literally, the entitlement could make the planet explode. No self-awareness. And just why? Like, who are you to, again, to preach all of these things? Like, it's like the Emma Watson thing. Like, you would literally have any clue. And I don't want to hear it that Ariana Grande, that she was also a Disney star and came up when she was like 10, basically. So I don't want to hear it from these people. Like, they have no idea. They literally have no idea. And it's what J.K. Rowling said to Emma Watson. Like, Ariana Grande, too, was so successful and rich and powerful and resourceful at such a young age. The fact that this lady has the audacity to come on here and be like, has your life gotten better? The widespread suffering of others. Like, it's just so ignorant. It's as if, like, trans people who are hurt and immigrants are this widespread suffering of others. Okay, how about all of the other people? How about the people that are suffering because they're working 5 jobs, because they're taking care of sick parents, because they have an ailment themselves, because they're facing a life-threatening disease? Who knows what? Like, bitch, no. What? It's just so out of touch and really just so obnoxious. And again, like, the timing of it is just like, why? Like, because I know that, again, they have in their, you know that conservatives are reeling over Charlie Kirk, and you know that these pea brains have it in their mind that it was born and bred, gun-loving, MAGA extremist lunatic. So there you go, contributing to the suffering, which isn't even true, but it's just not the move, girl. Like, absolutely not. Take a look at your net worth and just, like, have a nice day, okay? Like, go on your vacation and leave us alone. Thanks. And again, it's like, do you want to pay for my vacation? Do you want to pay for my vacation, Ariana? No problem. I'll do a buy me a coffee site or a Venmo right here. Drop it, okay? Bitch, drop it like it's hot, and then we'll see. The same thing, and I'm so glad one of my viewers sent this to me just before, which I totally forgot about, was the Serena Williams, like, cotton picking extravaganza in some hotel. And she was offended by it and did a video. Like, there were like cotton display decor. She was like personally offended. Like, is anyone offended by this right now? Not normal people, no. Because we know that we're in 2025. Literally, nobody's even thinking that. Like, why are you triggered? Why are you triggered when you are one of the richest people in the country, self-made, made the American dream, and have a net worth conveniently of $300 million estimated? What are we talking about? And it reminded me actually of when I had, for OG viewers of my show, you may remember when I had Amir Odom on. He is amazing. He's gay, Black, conservative, but he is like more free thinking. He's not just totally in that conservative box, but influencer. And he's actually attributed his come up to Charlie Kirk and Turning Point, which I didn't realize. And Charlie really took him under his wing and advocated for him to create a platform. But I had him on my show, and it was at my clubhouse here in Nashville. And they had those similar little cotton things in the clubhouse, like Serena Williams was so triggered by. And he made a joke of it and was like, did you place these here? did you place these here on purpose to trigger me? I was like, I did. I just wanted to see how you would react. Like, we're just both making fun of it because who literally even thinks like that? Like, even like, also, why are you making it so easy for the Megyn Kellys of the world to come for you? Like, why? It's just a softball. Like, because you know that conservatives are going to lose their mind over this shit. Why make it so easy for them? Just why? But again, it's the entitlement. It is straight up entitlement. And you could be watching this being like, whatever, white girl, talk to me about entitlement. I don't care. It is entitlement. She's worth $300 million, guys. She's one of the most famous people in the world. What are we talking about? Like, I need to know how Serena Williams is a victim of the patriarchy and of suppression and of slavery and all of this. Like, I need to know. And this is the kind of stuff that Charlie Kirk was talking about. And this is why he was so against DEI, because he was like, why are we basing everything on what kind of sex you have, on the color of your skin? Like, how about meritocracy? How about the value of you as a human being, your skills, your craft? How about that? In true greatness and competitiveness and the best succeeding, which is Serena Williams, who's the best at what she does and the most famous at it. Like, why? Just literally why? And again, unless it's like she's just trolling us to get this kind of reaction, but I don't think so. I think it was sincere, in which case, like, just remove the cotton and put the entitlement on display on the little flowers. I don't even know, because it's just like literally no self-awareness, like literally no self-awareness. So with that, who actually does have some self-awareness, God, we have so many to get to in only just a couple minutes. Rachel Bilson, who is an actress, and she was in the OC. And I remember a year or so ago, I don't remember, she was on a podcast and talking about, and I backed her at the time. I was like, fuck yeah, girl, and still do. But how she likes being manhandled in bed and kind of like the submissive and tossed around. And I was like, yeah, that's right. You ragdoll it, girl. Takes that life to know it, you know? And it turns out, and it's funny that I'm seeing this on the heels of my conversation last night with Pastor Jackson, but this is what I was kind of getting at with him, which is this polarization of women and their sexuality, and it's how it's so demonized and seen as cheap and immoral and wrong and all this, when it's innately who we are, and power and you know, and all of that. And she got let go, she revealed, I guess recently on a show, from a studio, a job that was more conservative leaning. And instead of I actually thought this was interesting. Like me, I would actually like be kind of pissed. She actually had a lot more grace. She was like, I understand if it was taken out of context, if it didn't much like align with their values, like I could understand how that would be off-putting. So I thought that was interesting and so unlike Hollywood, because normally they are ready to just like, case in point, like blame everyone but themselves and just perpetually see themselves as victims. And I thought it was interesting that she was like, I could actually see that. And honestly, that's probably a little more grace than I would have had. I would have been like, this is bullshit. And women do like to be manhandled. Where is the lie? Like, do not crucify the blonde for telling the truth. So that was interesting. Okay. Last kind of 3-4 here. The Saudi Comedy Festival. So this is fascinating. There is a big comedy festival that Saudi Arabia is throwing on. And you thought Nicki Minaj and Cardi B, I mean, it's almost like, I don't know what came first, the chicken or the egg, the comics roasting and going after one another, or these two bitches, because there's a whole lineup of people set to perform there. Whitney Cummings, huge people, Dave Chappelle, Whitney Cummings, Louis C.K., who's the Andrew Schultz, right? And you have other comedians putting them on blast, being like, basically, you people will do anything for the paycheck, and it shows. Where is your dignity? And David Cross is one of them, right? Who is from Arrested Development, and he's hilarious. But Kevin Hart's performing there. Pete Davidson, I'm just seeing this. Bill Burr. And basically, it's just so hypocritical and crazy, because comedies, we've been in this, again, free speech debate lately, and comedy is the one safe haven where you can really, like, nobody else can just totally go there and push the limits, right? And push the boundary. And obviously with this, given the regime over there, it comes with an understanding, a contract, and at a cost that certain things are censored and they can't touch certain topics. So people like David Cross have been like, so what are you going to make jokes about? Like Yankee Candles and airports? Like, what is there to talk about? Are you going to make jokes about how they execute journalists and gay people and women? And he even says, right, like, a regime that is the complete antithesis to everything they're about. So it's like, why even indulge this? And now I do have like kind of devil's advocate to that. But David Cross says, okay, great, but you're cool with murder and or public women who were raped having the audacity to be raped, were guilty of engaging in adultery. Got any bits on that, right? So just really kind of twisting the knife and giving them shit. And there's a part of me, look, would I do it? No, I think that it is as tacky as Candace Owens, but there's a part of me that's like, okay, is it because they're all about free expression and pushing the envelope that they'll do what they can to bring that to a different audience and at least open their minds and offer it where they can? And, preach their own gospel in the way in that, or is it just the paycheck talking? Either way, my friend who is actually a vet red carpet reporter, I can't take credit for this, but he had a good take on this, which was saying like, we no longer have the Jane Fondas, the Muhammad Alis who are really willing to be about it and sacrifice and lose everything. I would argue like a Colin Kaepernick definitely did, but he's right. Like everyone else, I don't know. It's like, are you just a bunch of sellouts? Is it worth asking? And he said, the likes of which we won't ever see again. The American Dream mission statement has swapped the land of opportunities with the land of get as much money as you can at any cost. And yeah, so we will see what happens. Again, to each their own, guys. I am like a live and let live kind of gal, Ayn Rand. Autonomous land of the free. So I've said it before, you can do what you want, but we can still judge it. So we will see what happens with that. And on the flip side, I did post this to my story the other day, but there's a horrifying, like nothing short of absolutely terror, of a man getting arrested, straight up arrested in the UK, okay? Not for stabbing somebody on a train in broad daylight for no reason, but because he posted a meme basically telling Hamas to fuck off, okay? I would be in solitary confinement if by that standard, if I lived in the UK. And you watch the video of him getting arrested, and even the cops are like, he's like, guys, like you have better things to do with your time, seriously. And they say it was reported as whatever, like hurtful or something. It's like, I'm sorry that I hurt Hamas's feelings. I'm sorry. That's like TikTok with me every day. It's like strike. I'm like, oh, sorry. I guess what I say? Did I upset Hamas again? Like my bad. So that is just absolutely horrifying. So when you want to talk about entitlement, how about be grateful that you're not over the pond dealing with that? Because by that, I'd see you all. We would all be fucked. So the Emma Watsons, the Serena Williams literally get the biggest clue. And look at how it is overseas. Everywhere from the UK to where you're full-blown arrested for a meme that, by the way, is calling out a terrorist organization, okay, as if that's hateful. Like, we are literally in the upside down. Or in places like in the Middle East where David Cross is exactly right, where you will get publicly executed as a woman for not only if you were unfaithful to, but if the husband was unfaithful to you. Riddle me that. Like, again, the backwards upside down. And these bitches have the audacity to complain about a hotel decoration. Like, it's wild. Lastly is Tilly Norwood. Okay, Tilly Norwood is the AI gal heard around the world. Like Sydney Sweeney, she's coming for your crown, okay? Tilly Norwood is an AI generated actress. And it's so real that the creator, who's a woman, is going to announce what agency is going to represent her. Like how that works, I don't know. But it's two things that are entertaining to me about this. One, how you have people being like, "Oh, what do you know? AI generated woman that studios can completely control." And again, as if it's like this patriarchal thing of like having a woman just be a slave and under the thumb of these men running Hollywood. But plot twist, Tilly Norwood was created by a woman. So there's that. But there's also how Hollywood is flipping out. You have like SAG-AFTRA doing statements like, we won't tolerate this. Don't use AI. Like, we need human creativity. It will never replace humans. You have people like Emily Blunt, who are very famous, being like, this is so alarming. And guys, look, like, I get it. I've faced this existential threat because you have AI. Like, these bitches be up in our domain doing podcasts, influencing all kinds of stuff. But the truth is, it's happening. It is happening with or without you. Like, I hate to break it to you. And this is, again, where I'm sorry, but it's a little bit of the Hollywood entitlement. Like, again, I get it. I get how scary it is. I'm a traditionalist. I'm a creative through and through. When I write my Substack, I will pour 12 hours straight over it. I will, over my dead body, would I ever have ChatGPT write it? Like, that's how committed I am to my craft and my art and my passion and words, right? And the creative work that I do. So I get it. I get that it's like you're gonna have a robot come in here and like give commentary and do interviews. Like, what are we even talking about? But again, this is where they're so on their own planet. Like, what SAG-AFTRA putting out a statement, they also put one out about Jimmy Kimmel. It's like, we're listening to you, but it's also like, what are you going to do about it? It's this thing of like, beating their chest, like they're so almighty and powerful, and so their egos in a way and entitlement so inflated that it's like, no, we demand that you don't use AI because, like I said, this, that, and the other thing. And it's like, again, the wave is happening. It's a tsunami. Your little post on Instagram is going to do nothing about it. It's really not. It's happening with or without you. So you better get on the wave or get out. And even the creator said, it's not to replace, nothing will ever, like, I think the creator said, as an actress myself, nothing will ever replace the human performance and touch that actors have. But think of it as almost its own work of art and creativity and a tool and a conversation starter. And again, these people, like, think about it. Their whole careers and lives are literally wrapped around their egos and looking at themselves all day. But if they could shift their mindset, even like I've had to do, and be like, how about it can enhance my life and elevate my life? And like she's saying, be a creative tool versus like it's threatening to me and my ego and my career and my livelihood. It's like, get with it or get lost, bitch, because it's happening. And so that's what's kind of interesting, right? Is while I understand it and while it's very existential, and while I agree nothing will ever replace that human connectivity and touch and creativity, it's just funny to see like the collective meltdown because it's all simultaneously at once just coalescing to attack all their egos and livelihoods at once, and they're all just melting down. It's like the rapture of Hollywood. And lastly, in a very human story, that's kind of fun. I just wanted to include it. Again, this was like a little smorgasbord today of stuff for you, but I didn't know this, but Jelly Roll lost a ton of weight. And apparently, it's the Ozempic perhaps. Something's telling me no. I ain't judging it. But I didn't know this. And, power to him. He talked about struggling with weight and his relationship with food his whole life. At one point, he said he was like, as a kid, like 500 pounds. And he's like, it was the most humiliating thing of my life going to get weighed for that. And all this. And what's interesting is his partner, Bunny something, kind of came for these women who came out in the comments like, oh, now he's hot. Like, he's hot now. And she said, yeah, Pyramid 7, he did. I had no idea. The world's happening so fast. I wake up and next thing I know, there's AI actresses, there's Hollywood melting down, and Jelly Roll's like a Skeletor. I don't even know. I don't even know a way to look. But she basically said, it's not like, stop being shallow Hal. She literally says that. Remember that movie, Shallow Hal? It's what's on the inside is the idea, right? Like, beauty's in the eye of the beholder, and he's still the same person he was. And that's who I fell in love with. And if I fell in love with him for his, looks. I would never have this beautiful partner and companionship in my life. And, at first I was like, is this ego? And again, kind of bring it to the beginning, like that kind of territorial, egotistical thing women do of like, stepping in, and there was a part of me that's like, we as women, we like when other women acknowledge that our man is hot. It's like, you can either be threatened by it or you could be like, yeah, bitch, right? Like, it's almost like a turn on. It's like, yeah, he is, like, you know what's up. And like, even seeing someone a woman trying to flirt with him at a party or something, it's like, yeah, you wish, bitch, but he's fine, So that was like the first thing that went through my head. That was like, the kind of knee-jerk defensive thing. But then I thought, I was like, it's actually very sweet and actually is very human to be like, you know what? I wasn't looking at him like that or for that. It was what's on the inside that I fell in love with. And that you can't replace. And again, like, if you're only looking for the superficial, would have never found that. So maybe Bunny in this episode is the voice of reason for all these crazy motherfuckers. Bunny and J.K. Rowling, we bookmarked it, bookended and started it with the voices of reasons. The J.K. Rowling, the Bunny, who perhaps exactly Pyramid 7, more kindness and more humanity and voices of reason in this chaotic world where the true pandemics like COVID could never, where there really are entitlement and ego and they are just taking over like wildfires like Gavin Newsom never saw coming, for better or worse. That is my show for you guys tonight. Thanks for sticking along. Tomorrow night, I will be traveling to the land of Gavin Newsom. So thoughts and prayers with me. I haven't been back in a minute. So I don't know what I'm going to do tomorrow night about an episode. I'm either going to run a pre-recorded awesome interview I have, or just, leave you with the ghost of Taylor's past. And, maybe you can rewatch if you haven't, or watch for the first time the interview last night with Pastor Jackson Lawmeyer, which was absolutely fascinating. Or my story time from Monday night, which was awesome too. So later, Pyramid 7, thanks for joining. And I will see you guys on the flip side. Love you.
Chris, how was your pee break?
My pee break.
They might flash you undetected.
Random, baby.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me. Quite an intro.
Let's address the elephant in the room. That's not the elephant in the room. There's no elephant. Nobody cares.
I too am a thought criminal. Good. Well, I like you already.
Does this look like a girl who's joking around?
No.
Around?
But how much do you actually understand money? Especially the new wave.
Beauty or intelligence? When you unleash both, it is men's kryptonite. Welcome to Talk to Me, Taylor.